Council meeting to order. Please join me for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you everyone for coming. Stu wants to make a motion to adjourn now, so we can watch the thing.
I'm in favor. Adjourn.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Barbara Yaki,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Bob Tanis,
Here.
Commissioner Tom Blum is excused, Commissioner Stu Davis,
Here.
Commissioner Joe DeLuca,
Here.
Commissioner Al Ramirez is excused, Commissioner Luke Stempien.
Here.
City Manager Craig Horton,
Here.
and City Attorney Robert Siebert is not here, and Attorney Howard Schiffman here,
Yes.
and Wade Trim Professional Planner Caitlin Hagan. Thank you.
Wonderful. I understand we have an addition to the agenda.
Yes.
What's that?
Item number F on your new business, it's gonna be the Hispanic Center's gaming license.
Okay. With that, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda as modified.
Including,
Support.
hold on, including,
Including the payment of $4,871,000. Jumping the gun.
Who said it?
who said it in my time?
Am I finished?
Yeah, go ahead.
$4,871,865.17.
Okay, so your motion, is there a second?
So that was just for the agenda though.
Yeah, that was just for the agenda.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
Agenda is modified with one addition, and Luke, you seconded?
I will second.
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, Stu, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought so, but I wasn't. I move we approve all the consent agenda items and minutes, including the $4,871,865.17 of taxpayer money.
Support.
Okay, roll call, please.
Davis,
Yes.
DeLuca,
Yes.
excuse me, Tanis,
Yes.
DeLuca,
Yes.
thank you. Stempien,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
sorry, your third audience,
What a start to the day.
okay.
Good carry.
Okay, motion carried. So citizens from the floor, if anyone would like to speak, we do have a 3-minute timer. Hold on, give me 1 second. We would ask that you address any comments to me. If you haven't quite finished your thought, that's fine. I will let you have a few extra seconds to do that, but we are gonna attempt to keep that on time. One other thing is that any citizens from the floor comments, those are comments. We are here to listen to what you have to say. It's not a dialogue. It's not for us to answer questions. It's for us to listen to what you have to say. So, thank you.
You can have my turn.
Charles Bodway from 250 East First Street. A couple things I want to bring up. My old parents' property sitting there. The house was torn down 2-3 years ago, maybe 4. And I thought at one time it was supposed to be another house built on that. It looks pretty shabby in that property. It's just been sitting there empty, no work has been done. I'm just kind of throwing it out there, what we can do. That was 445 West 4th Street.
Is that the corner?
Pardon me?
Is that the corner?
No, that's right by the elevator, 2 houses up from the elevator. Another thing too is the elevator itself. Has that been sold, and is that property is that a zoning issue of that being a commercial? Or is that a residential property, do we know?
You're talking about what was
The
Gibbers?
Gibbers.
Okay. You know what? I do have some information in regard to that property, so,
Okay.
Charlie, if you want to talk to me afterwards, I'd be
Yeah,
happy to
yeah,
talk to you.
I'm just kind of curious on that. Another thing too is I just wanna bring this up too, East First Street's getting to be a racetrack from Elmont Avenue to Van Dyke. Ongoing traffic just from the way they turn that corner all the way down through there. We have a park there, and I know it's getting to be winter time. The summertime, there was a lot of people driving through there, and people are in there at the park, having a hard time getting in and out of there, because the people are just driving like really sporadic. I just wanna bring that up, because it's getting to be monotonous. Even at night, it's doing the same thing. I mean, you hear diesel trucks go by, they're just like wide open. So, just thought I'd bring that up a little bit too. Just a safety issue back that way.
All right, thank you
So,
very
thank
much
you.
for your comments.
Yep.
Anyone else like to speak? Okay. Seeing no one else at this point, I do not believe we have a guest speaker.
Yeah.
And we do not have a department head. Okay, so on to unfinished business. 9A, small I, the old DPW building. There's actually no update, right now. As was reported last time, DTE put the pole in the wrong place. And so we are attempting to get DTE to move the pole, to put it in the right place. So until we can do that, that is our holdup, so there's no real update on the DPW building. In regard to the tower, Caitlin, I think you're up, right?
No, that's not
Oh, that's you.
In your packet, you have a letter from, on page 31, you have a letter from the law firm of Seaver Gillespie. They've been working with American Tower to rewrite the contract for the lease of the tower on city property. And what the attorneys are recommending is that we approve the proposed contract, which will include an upfront payment of $55,000 and then an increase in the annual rent from $13,200 to $48,000, and some other additional items that we asked to have added to that contract. So basically, it's nothing new. It's the contract we've had with these additions. So I think we sent you the contract a week or two at a time, so you can take a look at it. So
Are there any questions for Craig in regard to that contract?
No motion's required.
No, actually, we do need a motion.
a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign.
I move to approve the contract for the tower as written.
Is it perhaps the proposed First Amendment ground lease agreement / American Tower?
Okay. Yeah, okay, well, that whole title.
Okay, so we have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second it. You're the mayor pro tem.
Okay, roll call please.
Davis,
Yes,
Stippian,
Yes.
Candace,
Yes.
DeLuca,
Yes.
Yaki,
Yes,
thank you.
okay, next, 9B, amendment of rezoning motion for minutes for city commission meeting, from September 2nd. There was one line of text that was not stated that apparently we need to state.
So if you look at the memo on page number 22, the planning commission minutes were correct in noting that it says, in all other uses allowed in R2 single family residential zoning district, and the city commission, that was left out. And I highlighted those, and our attorney is in the process of writing an agreement to be able to have the owner of the home signed to put it on the title, like we've talked about in the deed. So in order to have that correct, the attorney asked us to have this re-motioned with the motion that I have suggested in my memo on 32.
Basically, to make sure that the city motion matches the planning motion.
Correct.
So if someone would be interested in making that motion on page 32, about 3/4 of the way down, there's some language, if anyone would like to do that.
what language do you want to use in this page?
30. here where it says
I
motion.
can't read it with these glasses. So I did one eye, I gotta get a red dress for the other.
Perhaps someone else?
Yeah.
Who would make that motion?
I'll make the motion to amend the motion in the minutes of Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025 regarding rezoning parcel number I-1966 300 000 for 240 North Main Street as follows: to approve the requested conditional rezoning of 240 North Main Street, which is property number L-1966 300 000 from R2 single family residential to RM1 multifamily housing, because the applicant meets all the standards in section 6.44 with the following conditions: that the applicant voluntarily limits uses allowed on the subject property to a bed and breakfast establishment and other uses also allowed in the R2 single family residential zoning district, and that the applicant voluntarily agrees to the condition of rezoning to be reported to the Lapeer County Register of Deeds.
Is there a second?
Second.
We probably need a roll call on that, I would think.
Stempien,
Yes.
Candace,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
DeLuca,
Yes.
Yaki.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. And now we have, 9C, under city, I'm sorry, unfinished business, resolution 2025-15, resolution of intent to establish the boundaries of the city of Lindley City Neighborhood Improvement Authority District.
Hello. That acronym may be familiar to many of you. It's the Neighborhood Improvement Authority. So we talked about this some time ago, earlier spring. So what this district is it's a TIF district, so tax and rent financing district. Essentially, it encompasses everything outside of the DDA. What this is doing is not increasing taxes, but instead taking councils that are already currently levied. So for example, Lapeer County already has a certain percentage of your property tax that goes to them. We are capping that, so they're not receiving any additional for the 30-year period that this TIF district would be in effect. And instead, as property increases in value and that is more taxation, that amount of money is then put into this TIF district. So that is a way that a lot of downtown development authorities, this is how they function, this is the same way. Other than the Neighborhood Improvement Authority isn't just about economic development, it's also about residential growth and maintaining other neighborhood areas. So it's a more encompassing district. And so this is the first step in the process. This time with our different notices, we're also proposing that we're gonna be adopting our NIA plan and TIF plan. So that's something that includes all the finances that, as far as expected projection, the revenue capture, but also includes a list of tentative projects that we hope to complete, and that's why we're establishing this district, to help us pay for infrastructure, to establish sidewalks, things of that nature that improve our quality of life here in Emily City. So this is the first step. We are proposing that we have our public hearing taking place later in November, in which that we would be able to have, again, the notice period, and that the draft plans will be located on the city website, so everyone can look at it, provide comment, and then we'll see if there's any additional modifications we have to do. This project has been a joint effort between Emily City, but also Lapeer Development Corporation. This has been helping a lot behind the scenes in establishing this district.
So on page 38 through 40, there's some information in regards to that. Does anyone have any questions for Peter? So we would be looking for a motion to approve the resolution as stated on the top of page 38.
I make a motion that we accept the resolution of intent for establishing the boundaries of the City of Imlay City Neighborhood Improvement Authority District Resolution 2025-15.
Support.
Okay, roll call please.
Stempien,
Yes.
DeLuca,
Yes.
Candace,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Yaki.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So next, we go to new business.
descriptional kind of play into both of them. But essentially, based on public interest regarding short-term rentals, this is something the planning commission has been working on for the last couple months. Essentially, what we're doing is we're allowing to establish the regulation of short-term rentals and make it a little bit more clear what our regulatory process is. From a zoning ordinance standpoint, what we're doing is very clearly identifying where we're allowing this to be, so it's in our residential zoning districts. We are allowing it, looking at that in comparison to bed and breakfast establishments, which are very similar, other than most short-term rentals, the property owner does not live on site. And so we reviewed both requirements, tried to make sure they're more consistent with one another, but otherwise it's a pretty minor amendment, making sure we have those two together, and how we regulate that. As far as number B, that is the policing regulatory power for it. So what we're doing is essentially requiring that there are no more than 4 registered short-term rentals in the city. This is requiring essentially where they have to do that separate licensing procedure. We have requirements in there that are similar to our other rental requirements. One of the requirements we specifically put in the short-term rentals is that they can't be a non-conformity in those areas. So if we're talking about a single-family home that's very, very small, and they can't provide parking on site, and it's not appropriate for a short-term rental. So the intention is to make sure these are properties with ample parking, as opposed to everywhere, all throughout our neighborhood area. So those will be very limited. We can adjust that number if there's more interest in short-term rentals, and we see that being needed. That's something that we can simply change. One of the other documents that's provided that isn't part of the zoning ordinance is the neighborhood guidelines. So this is a couple-page document that just kind of verifies that states at the short-term rental that we can change whenever we see fit to make sure our visitors to our community have an understanding of how we operate. So we have like snow removal guidelines there. We talk about when trash pickup is, things of that nature, so hopefully they can be a good steward of our neighborhood, be a little bit more seamless with us from a community standpoint. And because it's referenced in the ordinance but isn't in the ordinance, we can adjust this as needed. As our DDA director comes online, some communities specifically put more punch lines in, put their event schedule in there, and it's required to stay at that temporary short-term rental. So that's a very high level of essentially what we're proposing to do, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Why can't we use the same as a motel?
That was an option, that you could consider a motel, which would only allow it in our business district. However, there was interest to allow short-term rentals in a limited capacity in our residential. Most short-term rentals like to have a unique experience for guests, in which our historical district would be prime or provide an option that a hotel doesn't. So having a full kitchen, having a larger venue, having multiple bedrooms, they prefer to rent out a home as opposed to even a suite or something that's more available here.
I think that you said 4, the actual number is 5.
Oh, I apologize. Thank you.
I was looking, I said, I could have sworn the planning commission we did 5, so I just, okay, good.
No, you're correct.
Okay, any other questions? So, we will be looking for a motion, because you need a motion of both, is that correct?
Correct, and it's, we're looking for a first reading. So this is the introduction of the draft to kind of evaluate if there's any components. At a following meeting, then you would have a second reading, in which then you would be able to adopt it. So this is just, I think the motion is to accept the first reading and
then it'll be at your next meeting for second reading and adoption.
Okay. Any other questions? Then would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to move, to accept the first reading zoning ordinance, text amendment to Article 1, Division 2, definitions, Article 2, Division 2, residential zoning districts, and Division 3, commercial zoning districts, and Article 5, Division 4, special land use.
Is there a second?
Support.
Roll call, please.
DeLuca,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Tanis,
Yes.
Stempien,
Yes.
Yaki,
Yes.
figure.
So, but we also need a motion regarding the first reading code of ordinance, is that correct?
Correct, this is establishing a separate license associated with it. So one of the things that's in the police power ordinance is specifically talking about on-site parking. Because it's not in our zoning ordinance, this is not something they can request a variance for. You either have the parking or it's not appropriate.
So,
Okay. I was gonna make a motion.
I'm sorry, what?
I was gonna make a motion.
Okay.
I move to accept first reading code of ordinance 116.00.
Support.
Okay. Roll call on that, please.
DeLuca,
Yes.
Candace,
Yes.
Stepien,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Yaki,
Yes.
figure.
Next, we have the wastewater treatment plant proposal for professional engineering services.
As you're aware, we've been talking about doing an analysis of the wastewater treatment plant in the hopes that we can upgrade that 35-year-old system. We have these two gentlemen from F&D here to go over their proposal and answer any of your questions.
Whoever wants to speak.
I'll go first, just to introduce myself, Chris Hennessy. I've been here before council previously, a couple occasions. We actually first started working on this about a year ago. We were headed in a different direction, and then there were some funding changes through rural development at the federal level. You've actually previously approved this proposal, but we've taken our time and patience and the funding in here. I'm happy to let Craig explain a little more about that. It's not necessarily city funds, it's coming from Lapeer Development Corporation for some site selection. So what our intention, I'm gonna have my colleague Nate explain the proposal, and then we can go through some process questions afterwards. Does that work for everybody? You wanna talk? Sure.
Thank you, everyone. So I guess the goal of our proposal, as Craig mentioned, is to look systematically at your wastewater treatment plant and identify improvements that may be necessary to accommodate the current and future needs of the city here. We want to be able to set you up for your 20, 30-year life as you grow as a city. And the first step of that is taking a look at your historical flows and loadings and developing an understanding of what has been and what will be up and coming in the future. On top of that, we will work closely with the DPW in evaluating the existing infrastructure and taking a systematic approach to identifying alternatives to address the current and future needs of the wastewater plant. In preparation of those, we'll prepare a project planning document that can be used for both CW, SRF, Clean Water, Safe Revolving Fund application, as well as a USDA RD application for funding. And that's really just so that the city can secure the most applicable funding and reasonable funding for the city to implement these improvements in the future. So this proposal incorporates everything to do with evaluating the wastewater treatment plant, projecting the future needs, analyzing alternatives, and then preparing both of those funding applications for the city.
What's the life of this thing we're looking at?
The life of the thing, we look 30 years out, at least, in terms of projecting.
When we're done, how long before we have to do something again?
The goal would be 30 years.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I just mentioned, you can say it too, this was essentially previously proposed to the city and then passed. There were some adjustments made. We were hoping to work with a local industrial user, so we've changed kind of some of the scope of it, and they're no longer part of the long term, but there are other potential properties that we know are being looked at with site selection dollars. Southwest corner.
425.
So we want to look at that potentially as an addendum as well. We may see if that comes up, but I'll let Craig kind of go into that if he wants to. Those would also be potentially the site selection dollars that are coming from the state to the Lapeer Development Corporation. So our goal initially on this, we were working at USDA
doing that, will it support the growth?
Yeah, I mean, 100%.
Okay.
That answers that, but I just wanted to mention, we had to go back, we went back to the drawing board to shift where the funding was coming from, but still the goal is to not have the city expend its funds for this work outside of this existing, wastewater treatment plant.
And again, as you see on, page 51, the cost of this agreement is $42,000. We have received a grant from the LDC, as they alluded to, that will help us cover that entire grant, that entire cost, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Good.
So at this point, you would be looking for a motion to approve the proposal from Weiss and Vanderbrink in regard to their proposed work, as indicated in the documents. Is there anyone who would like to make that motion?
I make a motion that we enter into the professional service agreement with Fleiss and Vandenbrink regarding the wastewater treatment plant as directed in these documents.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Timian,
Yes.
Candace,
Yes.
DeLuca,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Yaki,
Yes.
thank you.
Next we have the parade permit for the Indian City Schools.
Again, that's just to have the younger kids wear their costumes and parade up and down the street there, so.
I think we can just do that by voice. Is everyone in favor of the parade permit?
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next we have Mercy Trick or Treat.
And that's for the chamber.
Vicki, would you like to speak to that, or
If you have any questions,
So this is it.
just explain it real quickly?
So this year, last year, they closed down, Third and Elmont, which I was a little nervous about, but it ended up working out really, really well. And the only complaint we had was everything was kind of disconnected. So what we're gonna try to do this year, instead of packing everybody that is in the outskirts into farmer's market, we're gonna line them down the middle of Third and Elmont, if we get approved to close down the roads. And then it'll just all flow better. And the hope is to get as many outside businesses to come in downtown, because I personally don't care for the safety risk that it poses now.
Any questions?
I think it's a good idea, because that way it saves all the people driving cars all over town, trying to get to all the other businesses. So I think it's a really good idea to get everybody in town.
And safer.
Okay. All in favor of this parade permit? Mercy Trick or Treat permit, excuse me.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passed. Thank you. F is the Hispanic Union License.
Again, the Hispanic Service Center was awarded some, carved, paddles, for use in the kitchen and to use as a raffle. When they went to set up the raffle, they were told by the state, licensing committee that they had to have approval from this body to be able to hold a raffle in the city. So, Ashley, brought this down and asked if we would approve this so that she can move ahead with the raffle.
Any questions?
This is only for just this raffle, right?
Just this one time.
Because this has to go to the state, why don't we do this with the motion?
It's a resolution, so we'll need a roll call.
I'm sorry, what?
It's a resolution, so we'll need a roll call.
Okay.
Make a motion, we approve the Hispanic Service Center charitable gaming license, resolution 2025-15.
Is there a second? Okay. Roll call, please.
Candace,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
DeLuca,
Yes.
Stempien,
Yes.
Yaki,
Yes.
thank you.
Next, we have the second, citizens from the floor, so if anyone would like to come up and speak. Seeing none, I guess we'll move on. Okay. At this point, we do need to go into a closed session. We need a motion to go into closed session,
I move that we go into closed session.
and we need to state the reason. For the purposes of meeting with our counsel, attorney-client privilege.
For the purpose of meeting with our counsel in regards to attorney-client privilege
At 7:30.
at 7:30
Thank you.
p.m. on October 7th.
Support it.
Roll call, please.
To review a communication which is exempt from disclosure under the act.
Do we need a roll call vote, or just,
Yes, go into closed session. Vivian,
Yes.
Davis, DeLuca,
Yes.
Tanis,
Yes.
Just information.
Yaki,
yes,
at 7:30.
Yeah, there'll be no action taken.
after closed session, city manager report.
I put everything we had on the agenda, so I have nothing to talk about.
Okay, Commissioner time. Commissioner Snufkin, anything?
Nothing for today.
Okay. Commissioner Davis? Okay. Commissioner Tanis?
Nothing.
Commissioner DeLuca?
Thank you everyone for coming. Glad to have you here.
And I have nothing. So, at this point,
James only an hour and 5 minutes away. I'll make a motion to close.
Second.
You didn't speed up, we're ready.
all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. We're done at 8:03.
I didn't see you carrying out no flowers the other day, Joe.